Good afternoon, guys. Welcome once again to the canal. This is the Grand Union Canal, and I've come out today for a little bit of silvers fishing, bit of fishing for whatever comes along, really. Happy to catch a few fish. Bearing in mind the last 2 or 3 days it's been roasting hot, 20 degrees, not a breath of wind. As you can see now, the sun is blazing down, and yeah, it's about 3:30 in the afternoon. It's the 31st of March today, and I'm going to fish a few hours into dark. Now, the boats are moving again. The lockdown rules are no longer in place for stay at home, so the boats can move again. And so hence the canal is moving. It's going to be towing. And I decided to come, when I decided to come yesterday, I was thinking what I'm going to do about the tow, because it can be a bit of a pain with the canal towing. I thought I can go on the feeder, which may well do, and may need to do. But not having fished this stretch before this year and not having fished it with the boats moving, I was a bit concerned about towing through and what to do. As I say, I like to fish on the float, really. I was scratching my head and I thought, do you know what? In the back of my shed somewhere, there's a bit of kit that might help. Now, I dug it out, and this is it. It is a pole. Now, I have never used a pole in my life before. You may wonder why perhaps I've got a pole then. The story behind this was that when I very first started taking my daughter Anastasia fishing, when she was perhaps 6 or 7, she couldn't get the hang of casting a fixed spool reel. About every 30 seconds it was, "Daddy, can you cast for me? Daddy, can you cast for me?" It was driving me up the wall, to be honest. Couldn't get any fishing done. So I thought, right, I'll buy her a pole. Went on eBay, paid about 10 quid for this, 15 quid for a used pole. It's a Lineaeffe, however you say it, International Pro Starter 8008, 8 metre pole, I believe. Now, we bought it, as I say, got it off eBay, came with a few floats, and the guy sent a few floats with it. I bought it off. I got it out, took it down the river, shipped it out once, got it all tangled up, swore a lot, I put it away and swore I'd never get it out again. And that was, Anastasia's now 15. That's probably 7 or 8 years ago, something like that. So it's been sat there ever since. I've just grabbed it out, as I say, got it out, and sort of had a look. Hello. Hi.
Just inspecting. What's that?
Videoing.
Have you fished?
Yes. You're right, it's alright. Don't worry. It's alright, I'm only doing the intro. So yeah, as I say, I shipped this out, tangled it up, swore, and put it away. And it's been sat at the back of the shed ever since. And I remembered last night, lay in bed, I was falling asleep. I thought, let's go on the pole. So this is going to be fun. I have shipped this out once, got it tangled and shipped it back, and that's been it. Now, I haven't got pole rollers, any fancy stuff like that. I've literally got the pole. I know only what I've seen on YouTube about pole fishing. I watch Winning Ways quite a lot, very entertaining. Andy May and Jamie Hughes. So I know about as much as I've picked up from them. Watching them. Now, there's no puller kit or anything on this. It is elasticated. This elastic's been in here since whenever. It's pink. I know that much. It's a number something and it's pink. It feels fairly stiff to me, so it's probably not ideal for catching silverfish. But my thoughts for this is I'll be able to hold the float in place or run it through if I want. Now, I have got my other kit in the car. I can put a waggler in and run that along if I want. I can go and get a waggler rod, fish the method. I can go and get my ultralight and fish on the feeder if I want, and I may well do that. But I just thought it'd be nice to have a go with this. As I say, I've never used it. I made one rig up with a float. I shot it at home in the pond today. Don't have any winders even or anything. But that's what I have. It's probably far too big for this. I'm sure it is. But it's the one with the finest bristle that I have. It is a Colmic GR1. I presume that's a gram. I've shot it up so that there's about this much showing of the tips. Probably far too much again, but we'll suck it and see. Find out what we're doing as we go along. So yeah, I'm going to attach this onto here. And we'll see what we're doing. I'm sure I need a back shot on here, I would imagine anyway. I'm going to plumb it up before I take any of this, or sort of get the rig to the right length, if you like. I'm going to get this pole out. As I say, I know very little of what I'm doing. Ooh, banging the camera about. So yeah, it's going to be fun, and I'm sure you lot who fish the pole all the time are going to be absolutely wetting yourself, and that's fantastic. You can wet yourself all you like. But I just thought, why not have a go? I don't even know if this is how you're supposed to store it. I presume it is. It's tucked inside itself. But as I say, if I'm shipping back, it can go through the hedge behind me. Got a reasonable width of towpath here. I did also come to this stretch. It's a stretch I've been fishing recently because I'm hoping it's as much of a guarantee of some bites as we can get. So yeah, I'm sure I've got far too much line on here. I can knock that off. But what I'm going to do is put a hook link on here, plumb up, and we'll see how we get on. To fish the far side of the shelf. I've picked somewhere where there's some bit of cover. Well, it was a bit of cover on the other side. Looks a bit of shadow, bit of shade. This thing's going to be an absolute nightmare, I'm sure. I think you're supposed to sit with it across your knees like that, but in a specimen chair, it's not going to be great. But and this pole does weigh about equivalent of my car, I think. So I'm sure I'm going to be absolutely sweating trying to use this. But hey, it'll be a laugh. We might even catch some fish. Right, enough waffling. I don't know what I'm doing at all. Right, there we go. Enough waffling. I'll get a hook link on here, and we'll see about doing some fishing. Right, I'm going to go on a Drennan red maggot up to nylon, size 20. Baits, I've got some maggots. I've got worms, bread, bit of sweetcorn, tiny bit of luncheon meat. Of course, as I'm talking, I'm going to be disturbed by an aeroplane because there's so many aeroplanes around here. But I'm sure you can still hear me. Now, I fished this not too long ago. Now we'll probably need to be, I would say, 4 foot. It's probably in the middle of the track. Today is going to be compounded. My incompetence today is going to be compounded as well by the fact that 3 days ago I had my COVID jab. So I'm still a bit shaky. Still a little bit shaky. And a little bit sweaty. And a little bit fatigued from it. I'm pretty sure I've got far too much line out. This thing weighs an absolute ton. This is going to be very funny. But I can get almost across the canal here. Right, far too much line out. I think we'll go to there. Right, let's ship this back in. Using all the technical terms, look, shipping it in. Right across the towpath, obviously, in everyone's way. So, a bit deeper. Got a nice pole roller in the background, which is not a pole roller, it's a tree trunk. Always wondered what it's like to fish the pole. Now I know. We should put a thicker bristle on there, I can't see it. That's not too bad at all. Let's put this last section on. Take the plug off the end. Right. Oh, blimey, I can fish quite a long way with that. actually need that last section. I need to take some of this line off though. Right. This is going to be an experience. Certainly. Oh, water keeps pouring out the end of the pole over my lap. I know it's not the done thing, but I think perhaps I should have bought a rod rest to put it on across my knee, rather than being across my knee. I mean, anyway, we'll see how we get on. Right, maggots. I've got a bit of ground bait with me as well. And I've sort of strung out the shot down the line. I'm sure this is what pole anglers call a very positive rig. Let's see how we get on. I think I need to, well, I'll tell you what I do need to do. Yeah, what I do need to do, definitely, is shorten the line between the float and the pole, because there's far too much line on that. Even I know that. Now, I don't know what I'm supposed to have, but I'm thinking more like 1.5 foot, rather than the 3.5 foot I've got on there. Now, I know about backshot as well. I don't know if I need one, but I do know about it. Fish then. So, if I'm struggling, I'll put a backshot on. Right, I think I'm going to fish shelf on the far side, which means I don't need that last section here, but we'll leave it on for now. Now, I'm supposed to lower it in nicely, aren't I? Lay it in. It's about the only time I've ever been fishing where I've hoped not to catch anything big. Right, I'm already struggling with how I'm sat. It is nice to have that control over the float though. Clearly don't have any, pole cups or anything like that. Be just nice just to see that float go. That would be nice. Water's first 1 minute flowing one way, next minute flowing the other way. It's definitely bouncing off the locks. Right, I'm going to adjust my seating position because I'm not sitting very comfortably at all. Put a bit of ground bait in. Just a little bit. It's very mixed, very dry. It's just some Census 3000. With a little bit of crumb in it, brown crumb, just a few tiny little balls. Well, put a few maggots in, and as I say, my seating position is terrible. Well, who'd have thought it? I'll be fishing matches next. I don't think so. Right. We got a fish. Oh my god, we got a fish. Oh my goodness, we got a fish. We have got a fish. We caught fish on a pole. Yay! Skimmer. That's fantastic. Wonderful stuff. Lovely little skimmer. Right. Well, I never caught a fish. Blimey. Shallowed up a little bit, and I think that was on the drop. Definitely does seem to be better this stretch fishing off bottom. But I've got about, I think I had another bite then. I've got about 2.5 foot of line between the float and the top of the pole though, so I think I need to shorten that. Yeah. Bagging up now. Can't get him in. Skimmers on the pole. Very beautiful as well. Black edges to the fins. Missed that one. I'm getting some bites anyway. Just it's working great actually. The plan to be able to hold this back, I mean obviously it's common sense really, but to be able to hold this back against the drift, the toe on the canal I should say, it's pulling either way. Quite enjoying this. It is a bit like patting your head and rubbing your stomach at the same time. But I'll get the hang of it in a minute. It's a bit bigger. Nothing's pulled the elastic out yet. I think it probably should have. So I'm guessing got the wrong elastic in. Lift that one. Just about maybe. Just about. Oh, and it's dropped off. Should have used the net. Much bigger skimmer at the time. Blimey. Lots of bites now. It's that one. There's definitely some fish down there. Just getting the hang of striking or sort of lifting into the fish. It's a bit alien. I'm used to striking. Just try and lift into them. You got like a 1.5 pound hook link on there. It's I don't want to strike into them too hard in case there's something decent on the end. Ugh. Keep dropping off. Well, I've hooked a few, landed less, but we're getting some bites. Got a bit croaky. Can definitely understand why pole fishing is, is number one for presentation. Really, it's just where you can just hold the bait in position. So I'd be struggling today, certainly on the float. It pulls that way, and then it pulls that way. It'd be an absolute nightmare today. I was just on the float. On the waggler, I should say. I'm on the float. I think it's a rod. Net this one, I think. Is it a roach? Oh, I'm making right pig zero this time. Jeez. Definitely got the wrong chair. Because I sat very awkwardly. Oh, it's a nice roach. It's dropped out in the net. Look at that. I know it's a rod. Thought it was a roach. It's definitely a rod. Well, I would say I'm enjoying this. I won't call it enjoyment. Just yet. It's like learning to drive. I'll get there in a minute. At the moment, I want to really concentrate on what I'm doing rather than actually enjoying it. But I do tend to pick things up pretty quickly, so I don't know what's going on over there. Strike it with my knee. That's a bit better. I think it's a rod. Wow. Well, it's about that. I'm learning. Tell you my first observation, apart from the obvious one that presentation is much better, is you don't get to play the fish, if that makes sense. You're just sort of more concerned about getting the pole in than actually playing the fish. That's my first observation. However, I'm pretty sure my elastic is far too heavy, so that may be something to do with it. Perhaps I'll get some different elastic. Because to be honest, I think I'll probably do it again. Not hating it anyway. Oh, I was catching some fish. I suppose it'd be better with a roller. I can't see me going and buying a roller. Oh, swing that one in. Right. I think what's probably helping as well is I do like to chuck the feed in, and it's much harder doing this to feed, which is probably helping. although it is quite warm today. So canal, obviously the amount of water in the canal is not great, so it does warm up fast. It's relatively shallow, but as far as bites go, I can't say I've got this many bites before fishing here. As I say, the weather's different, a lot warmer. I thought I'd catch skimmers either, but you know, okay. I've got myself a bit comfy now as well, so I sort of got the pole across my knees, crushing my knees to death with the immense weight of it. Feels like it's made from, I don't know, possibly glass fibre, possibly concrete, I'm not sure. Or the other, bamboo. I'm sort of striking with my left knee as well now. I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not. I'm just lifting the pole with my left knee and the left hand. But it's working. Oh, you get one. I'm going to say a little indication now. Definitely need a lighter elastic for these fish. Can't quite get that pole far enough back either to just ship out and break it in one. Annoyingly. But wow. This. I'm starting to enjoy it now. Starting to enjoy it. I don't know what I'm doing. Well, I must be doing something right. We're catching some fish anyway. I haven't quite mastered feeding and holding the pole at the same time. And to be honest with you, I don't intend to. I'll lay that in. There's a bit of weed on the line. Never mind. It's great that I can just put it in the same bit of shadow. Yeah, sort of reflection. Same bit of the reflection of a stump over there, so I know in exactly the same place every time. I mean, I'm clearly not feeding in that place every time. Just sort of chucking a few maggots in, but this is it's not as hateful as I thought it was going to be. Not been that many boats either go past. None since I actually started fishing. It's very, very warm and I've left my drink in the car. I don't bring a drink half the time these days when I go. But I did today because it's so hot. Stupidly left in the car. I'll get that in a minute. Keep hydrated. My body's still sorting itself out for the from the COVID vaccine. So small, I didn't even realise it was on. Look at the size of that. What on earth is it? I can't even tell. It's like a very small rudd. Looking at the mouth. Not anything like a rudd though. It's an upturned mouth, so I think it must be very, very tiny little rudd. Wow, this is very, very pleasant, I must say. Especially now I have a vague idea what I'm supposed to be doing. Well, no, to be fair, I always had a vague idea what I'm supposed to be doing. It's a bit bigger. And it is. Took another skimmer. Oh, quite a skimmer. You're not skimming it across the top of the water. It's not a skimmer, is it? Fab. Well, guys, there we are. Lovely stuff. Oh. Well, first roach. Lovely stuff. Really, really great. Great stuff. What's this? A bit perchy. A flash of perch then? No, too fast for a perch. Rudd. Absolutely bionic rudd. Excuse the fingers, but he's very lively. Don't want to drop him. I'm sure I'm bumping a lot of these fish off because this elastic's too. Oh, fish don't talk to the camera. I'm sure I'm bumping some of these off though because this elastic's too much too stiff. I'll perhaps buy some. I'm quite enjoying it, to be honest. I'll perhaps buy some elastic. So the stuff in here is probably at least 8 years old. So it's probably a good job it's quite stiff. But I'm sure that's why I'm bumping a lot of these fish off. That's why I'm trying to strike very gently. Which is possibly another reason why I'm bumping these fish off. Well, a bit of movement did the trick then. That looks a little bit silver breamy to me. Just a little bit. It's got the big eye. Slightly redder fins here. Pecks and yeah, may well be. What a lovely rudd. Got some lovely rudd in here. Wow. Wow. Yeah, absolute stunner. Fantastic. Well, it's gone very, very quiet. Had a bite for maybe 15 minutes or so. Which is very quiet for today. I've just put a little bit of bait in, just in the middle of the track down to my left there. Nice to fish that way, but the sun is right in my eyes. But I'm sort of keeping this spot going as well. I'm going to drop back on it for 5 minutes. And so I'll put a little bit of bait in over there. I haven't seen anything, but it may be that predators turned up. If I do see any indication, I may well nip and get one of my Xander rods from the car. Not seen any signs of predator attack, but it has gone, well, not even quiet, it's absolutely dead. I had a bite for, say, about 15 minutes. Well, finally had a bite. A skimmer. And it was it. Yeah, not sure what happened there, but very quiet for a good 15 minutes. Perhaps there was a predator moved in. Perhaps it's gone now. Who knows? Well, it slowed right up, and I've put a bit of coloured sweetcorn on, the red sweetcorn on. Had a bite fairly quickly. That's another lovely rud. And hooked myself in the net. It has been very, very quiet. Kept the size 20 on. Literally just change baits. Yeah, pretty quiet at the moment. It's that time of day, as I often say, where you'd expect sport to pick up a bit, but it tends not to on this stretch, bizarrely. Come on. A little skimmer. Seem to like this this corn. Or maybe it's just a coincidence and some fish have moved back in. Who knows? We're catching again. Just a little bit shorter that time. Fishing just on a sort of slope on the far side. Just drop that one just to only a foot closer in and seem to get a bite very quickly then.
Are we on YouTube later on?
Not later, but in a couple of weeks.
What's the channel?
Avon Angling UK.
Avon Angling UK.
Well guys, I've been having a bit of a play around with baits and tried worm, nothing, tried corn, really getting anything. I've come a bit shorter with corn on, and then I had a fish or two. It just seems to go very quiet here. I start to lose the light a little bit. It's really strange. I've come a little bit shorter, gone a little bit deeper, because I'm fishing sort of on the slope, on the far side of the main channel. I've come a little bit closer, gone a little bit deeper, and that's got me that bite. So I'm deepening up a little bit more. So I'm definitely fishing shallower than the main channel. As I say, I'm fishing a few inches shallower than that. I'm fishing against the slope on the opposite bank, on the opposite side of the main boating channel, I should say. Oh, nice rest of my eyes. That sun has sort of gone behind some hazy clouds. Could have put my sunglasses on, but I wanted to be able to see the float properly. I'm still propping my hat up, or sat on my hat. I've just come back about a foot then. I've just had a bite fairly quickly, so run a little bit deeper and we'll do the same again, see what happens. Not really feeding either, because there didn't seem to be any fish there. I didn't want to keep feeding, so I've eased right back on the feed as well. But my experience of this place does seem to be that when we get to this time of night, all the fish seem to switch off. I've only fished it sort of 3 times now, so I don't really know how it responds in all sorts of conditions. Maybe that it's a little bit warmer like it will be this evening. We'll keep able to keep it going, but I don't know, it's very strange. Feels a little better. Get out of the area quickly. That's good. Beautiful. Another absolutely stunning rudd. Full of rudd and skimmers today. Now we'll get a few bites again. We'll keep going. When we're catching some fish, I'm quite happy to carry on. Feels better again. Definitely need a lighter elastic in here. Definitely. Ah, stripey. Oh, little fat stripey as well. Be careful. Looks very much like a spawn bound female to me. Belly on her. Fab. And of course, absolutely swallowed the hook. Get that out, no problem. There we go. Beautiful. Yeah, sort of switched on. A bit more feeding. So I've just gone a little bit deeper and come into the channel a little bit. Only by maybe 18 inches, 2 foot closer, but it's a good few inches deeper there. That's where I started to get some bites again. On Maggot again, as I have been. Did have a couple on coloured corn, but it wasn't exactly setting the world alight. We're having a few bites again now. That looks very much like a silver bream to me. The colour of that, I'm sure it's a silver bream, isn't it? I'm calling a lot of these skimmers, but I'm sure some of these are silver bream. That's got very red fins there, and big old eye. I'm sure that's a silver bream. Sure as I can be anyway. They do look like a very funny skimmer, silver bream to me, and that looks like a very funny skimmer. They do seem to be, when you find them, you do tend to find them in pockets, and there do seem to be some around here, if I'm identifying this fish right, which I think I am. Right, also, one of the giveaways is they're not slimy. My experience. Yeah, that's sort of how long these sections are, about a metre I think, but I'm about half a section closer in than I was. So yeah, about 1.5 feet, 2 foot, something like that. So we're back in the bites again. I'm just dragging bottom. If I let the float go through, it's almost dragging under with the toe. Certainly not going through as fast as the toe would pull it. Just tells me I'm just on the bottom. So obviously I've just had to tweak the depth a little bit. I think we're just dragging bottom there. I don't know if I'm misidentifying these fish or not, but that looks similar again. Definitely got a big eye. I'm sure these are silver bream. Thought that was a bigger one, but it's another red. Definitely a shoal of red moved in. Wonderful stuff. Nice to see a canal that's teeming with life. And I don't mean crayfish, mink, otters and cormorants. In fact, I've fished here 3 times into dark now and I haven't seen a sign of an otter yet. I'm going to tempt fate. Absolutely everywhere these days, aren't they? In fact, there's a load of fish doesn't really tell me there's not otters here, because I haven't caught anything over a pound yet. Except possibly those zander. So otters certainly do take the big fish first, because they're just easier to catch. Slower. And they only need to catch one and they're full. They don't want to waste their energy chasing small fish around, do they? Oh, take the eyes off it now. It's crazy set for ages and ages, catching nothing. And then 3 or 4 fish on the banks. Is that a rud again? A bit pale looking rud in this stretch. Or is that a roach? No, that's... yeah. I think that's a roach. Looks like a roach to me. Fantastic. Well, when I came out to fish the pole on a sunny day, this was not what I had in mind, I have to say. I might catch a few fish, have a few bites. This is great. That's it, just over 3 hours. With a refreshment break in the middle. But yeah, can't moan at this at all. Some fish then now, so we'll get the bait in. Some maggots in. Pick that up. There we go. Slide it in. Slide it in and holding it back, just let it fall. And nailing it on a drop, I think. Last few goes in. Well, I didn't get a bite, so I just let it run through. That did the trick. I really am wondering if a lot of these are... careful. A lot of these are silver preem. They do look a lot like them to me. I know they get mistaken a lot for skimmers. Too colourful and silvery to be skimmers to me. And those reddish fins. Well, that one's a bit slimy. That's the first fish I've had. This other line over here. Oh, that picked it up an hour and a half ago. Probably an hour and a half now. Little fat stripey. Again, looks very spawn bound to me, a female by the looks of it. You're just thinking that in a few minutes I'm gonna grab my jacket for a start, my jumper. That's one after me. And I think I might grab the ultralight and have perhaps an hour on the ultralight as it gets dark. Just try and go on a little tiny feeder. Just see if we can't pick up a bonus fish. So we've been feeding this spot for 4 hours now or so. Yeah, just about 4 hours. Not been going mad with the feed, but just been feeding it for 4 hours. So it may well pick up perhaps a nice bonus bream or perhaps big perch, who knows what. I thought somebody grabbed that. Such a sensitive way of fishing, which obviously you always knew it was, but blimey. That little fellow grabbed it on the way down. Little rud. I think while we're still getting bites I shall carry on doing this. And like I said, there's no reason really why I can't illuminate this float with the torch like I do my wagglers when I fish at night down the canal. No reason why I can't do that, aside from the fact that the bristle on this is very, very thin. And I may struggle to see it, but I may not. I do fancy perhaps an hour with bigger baits on the ultralight. Perhaps a bit of sweetcorn, a couple of grains of sweetcorn, or a bit of bread flake. Might pick up a nice roach. We'll carry on, I think. While we can still see this, we'll carry on. Right, I'm going to give it 5 more minutes, I think. 5 minutes, and then we'll get on the ultralight. Yeah, starting to get a little bit difficult to see this float. That Colmic's gone past. Just gone past it, its lights on. Right guys, I think that is that. I am going to spend 5 minutes packing this pole away. And then get a jumper and the ultralight. And we'll spend, it's 7:45 now, we'll spend perhaps an hour just on the feeder. Just see if we can winkle out as I say, a bonus fish or two. Right, let's get this packed away, and then we'll see what we can do. So guys, pole fishing, actually very enjoyable. But you know, catching fish though, it would be, wouldn't it? But no, I really enjoyed that. Definitely enjoyed that. But thinking perhaps I should go, or perhaps what to do. But it's the best time of day, and as I say, I could have perhaps stuck it out on the pole and illuminated, as I said, illuminated that float with my torch, which you know you've seen me do. I'm sure if you've seen any of my other videos, you've seen me. You know that I'll do that fairly regularly. Especially I use it for my this torch, which I can, it's USB rechargeable torch. Battery lasts a good few hours, and yeah, it can be used to illuminate either my quiver tips or my float when I'm at the canal. I'm sure it would have worked quite well, to be honest, but I think I do fancy going on the ultralight. We've got on the ultralight, tiny little feeder, just a little 20 gram, I can find one there, just a tiny little 20 gram feeder, just see if we can't pick up a bonus fish. As I say, you know, we might pick up a bream or nice roach, nice perch, who knows. You know, it's a canal at the end of the day. It's sort of semi-wild, isn't it? The fish are certainly wild, so you never really know what you're going to catch. It's like fishing down the river. You just don't know. I've got some ground bait in here, obviously, to use up as well. But we'll give it an hour. I say no particular rush to get home tonight, so we can give it an hour and see how we're getting on. And if it's rubbish, we can leave, and if it's decent, we can stay. Just I'll plop this out there. I could probably just swing this underarm, actually. Just get it right to where we were fishing before. That's it. Donk. As I say, got some bread with me, got some maggots, worms. We'll just see, play it by ear, see what's happening. A lovely sensitive quiver tip on here, just 3/4 of an ounce, the quiver tip on here. I'll bring you back a bit, you'll be able to see what's going on. Put you down that way. But yeah, I do fancy, perhaps we'll try some bread, we'll try some sweet corn. On the quiver tip so we can see what we're doing. Oh, see what's happening, I should say. Get comfy. Here we are. It's nice to be out sort of later at night. As darkness, something's just rolled to my left as darkness is approaching, and not have to be thinking about going, you know, because of club rules or such things. No problems at all night fishing this stretch. Could stop here all night if I wanted. No problem. Nice as well, as it gets darker, the canal will start to tow less because there won't be anybody opening the locks up. It all just settles down nicely at night on the canal. A little knot then. It's got a running ledger rig on. A size 14, a couple of grains of corn at the moment. Wow, we're into something. I'm guessing it's a bream. Looks very breamy. Just a couple of pulls. That's a decent one. Lovely job. Wow, it's made it worth staying on. It's fab. I did at one point think it was crayfish, but clearly not. Male bream by the feel of the tubercles. It's about that. Fantastic. Well, if he's down there, I can't imagine he's on his own, so see if you can't winkle out another one as well. Lovely job. There we go. Not sure what this is. Whizzing about. Whee. Just another bream. Blimey. Not very happy. There we go, taking on worm again. Fab. Yeah, there's definitely fish down there. Tip is banging off, banging around straight away. It's tapping and rattling, clearly bumping into the line. It's getting a bit chilly though, just say. Is that here? There's something it's going crazy. It is another bream. It's absolutely shotted under my feet. It's absolutely full of them here at the moment. Blimey. Well, I know I said one more cast. I think that one more is going to have to be one more. So guys, the bream seem to have disappeared, so I think it's probably about time I did as well. So I'm just going to put my rod away, and then we'll have a quick look at what we've caught. Right guys, let's have a look what we've got. Wow, there's some fish in there. Let's get it bream back first. Yeah, okay, careful. Goes one, another one. A bit better. Another one. I'm not going to put all these back one by one, but just hope you can see in there. Lots of silvers, perch. Fantastic. Let's get them back. Place that through. Won't keep them out of the water very long. Yeah, hope you can see that all right. Fantastic. Wow, what an absolutely wonderful session that was. Really enjoyed that, as I'm sure you can imagine. And first session on the pole, very successful. And yeah, I have to say, after an hour or so, got got a bit more used to it, and I did enjoy that. It definitely needs some different elastic in it, so I think I should be on eBay tomorrow looking for some elastic, some lighter elastic. But yeah, really enjoyed that. An absolutely wonderful time. Just over 5 hours fishing. It's about 9:15 now, so time I was making tracks. So I hope you enjoyed watching me struggling with that pole, and till I got used to it, and then of course having those bonus fish after dark as well, which is fantastic. So all there is left to do is to say thank you very much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed that. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling. Many thanks to the channel patrons. Your support is much appreciated, and I'll see you all again very soon.